Oh, hello! I'm excited to be out for a little walk hike today. It's going to be a combination of paved trail and natural trail on the Riverwalk area um, down towards Rock Hill, South Carolina. So excited to be out today. Had a lot of life going on, so haven't been able to get out, but it's a good day for it. It's supposed to end up being a hot day. I think we're supposed to hit 90 degrees today, so starting to feel like summer, but it's a pretty trail, well maintained so far, and we have the Catawba River on our side as we're walking, so that's always fun. Bird sounds, water, and trees. You can't really go wrong. This is a pretty neat spot along the Catawba River because they actually have an area designated for put-ins. So if you're wanting to go down the river, this is a good section to do that. And so you can put in or pull out here, and go however far down and finish the journey. So something we've talked about doing on a paddleboard, since that's our aquatic means of transportation that we have. So we'll see, but this would be a good spot to try that out. You can hear the water moving pretty quickly diagonally from us right now. There's definitely some people out walking today. I have not visited this trail until today because I know that it gets very crowded on weekend days or evenings because of the location. It's really convenient as far as where it is, and easy to get to, and it's multi-use, so you can bike or walk around on it. So I don't usually prefer to walk when there's a bunch of bikes out. We got a deer walking across the road up here. Oh, here's another one. Let's see if it goes too. It's pretty fun. They might be heading out to find some lunch for themselves. Hi guys! They're peeking right in there. Very cute. Big old ears. Definitely feels like a good walk when you get to see some animals. Oh, that's really fun. We had, let's see, where were we? We were out west, and the name's escaping me now, which national park it was. It'll come to me. But Kate and I got up for a sunrise hike up to a point. So we hiked from our camping spot up along a river, and it was beautiful. And then we came back down, and so we were walking back towards the car and where we were parked. We usually slept in the car when we were doing this kind of traveling. But as we were walking, these two, actually it was a whole group of deer, but one was on the trail and it in front of us, and it decided to continue going, jumped the fence for the little farm that was there, and went into the field to find some food at the farm. And then there was a buck with huge antlers, really impressive, but closer than I would like to be to it. And Caden was in front of me, and Caden and that deer just stared at each other for a decent amount of time. It was really surprising. And then finally it was like the deer said, all right, I'm off to go get my breakfast now. And he went, jumped the fence. And so we watched them for a little while and then continued walking. But always exciting to see some animals out there. All right, so that national park was Capitol Reef. That was that one. And it was beautiful. So I think it's definitely not as visited as some national parks. So highly recommend it. There are some spots that we went there where you really need to have four-wheel drive to make it through where you're trying to go, because you're driving basically on sand between two canyon walls in some spots. So really cool experience, but there were a couple just cars that were trying to do it and they struggled and then eventually got turned around so that they were not fully stopped. But beautiful, beautiful national park. And it has some really cool history. So the natural beauty and having the history there is always awesome to me. I love learning about the people that have been in these areas that we get to visit.
Yeah. She also said you can take your hands if it's shallow enough.
Everything is so green. It's beautiful out. So as I think about different experiences that I've had, some of the adventures or seasons of life, there's definitely some that I'm grateful are over and that they were only for a season. And I learned through it, became who I am now because of them. But there are some that I miss and wouldn't mind doing them again. So try to focus on what else there is to come, because I'm reminding myself that everything has a season for different reasons. So the extensive traveling that Caden and I got to do together was phenomenal, and I wouldn't have traded that for anything. I would definitely love to do more traveling like that again. But there's other things that I'm very grateful I made it through, survived. So that's what life is, all the combinations of everything. So I was reflecting about that. Not exactly sure where this is. We're gonna go down this way. I'll go back in the woods. Last night I was looking at some of the pictures on the wall that Caden and I have taken places, and thinking about the relationship that we had during those times, all the wonderful memories that we made during all of those adventures, some of the everyday things and then the extraordinary things that I hope he always remembers and treasures, both ways. But I was feeling kind of sad because I enjoyed so much of those things and I don't get to do them anymore. Right now I'm still in a season of uncertainty and finding my way and a lot of change and adjustment. So it was hard to bring myself out of that last night when I was already very exhausted. So trying to give myself a little better perspective on it today. Because yes, those seasons have passed, but more to come. And those that we're beginning to embark on are going to be amazing in their own right, or teach awesome things that we wouldn't learn any other way. So some of the adjustment has happened because of just having to deal with the growing up that happens for teenagers, and going through the struggles that add to those challenges with other things like profound giftedness or autism or ADHD that just add another layer to all the fun. And then some of our changes are not by choice at all, but it's because of change in circumstances that we couldn't control, like jobs. So I had been looking to transition jobs, but still kind of maintain the idea of what I was doing. And suddenly somebody came in and took my job that I was planning on keeping. And it was so hurtful for so many reasons. But it sparked the need to start a whole new season, and had to step out there and just decide I'm gonna go with what I can do, what I need to do to take care of us, and have the confidence to know that it will work out, because it always does. It doesn't mean it works out the way we want it to, but the way it's supposed to, it will. So got to celebrate. I did get a new job. It changes life dramatically, but I think it'll be a good fit. So I'll go back to classroom teaching, and I'll teach 7th graders. But it'll be fun to take on a new endeavor. And Caden is at the very end of the school year. He has started public school, so we're hoping to blend school with dual enrollment, so he can continue on his trajectory and learn those extra things that he can learn from those experiences, those new experiences for him, and new opportunities. So both of us are, I guess, kind of hesitantly excited to see what's going to happen. So this portion of the trail, there's been a lot of muddy spots. Anywhere off the pavement has been quite muddy, but here has a lot of gravel, rock, so not so muddy here. But the trails go out and back in. Looks like this is another spot we can go back down to the paved trail, and it's just all these different, those are specifically the bike routes that go off the paved trail. But since I came in the middle of, well, even before lunchtime on a weekday, I can feel comfortable going on these trails as well without interfering with bike riders. So makes for fun adventure to see all aspects of this area. So pretty fun. We're still seeing some pretty flowers that I often see in the spring, but they're continuing through. Some of the grasses are oozing bubbles. It's all interesting. Berries on the ground. So always so many things to see in the woods. So it definitely seems like you would benefit from visiting here more than once to know where you're going. The paved trail is just one straight down along the river and back along the river, same thing. So you can't get lost. I'm not concerned about being lost, but I have no idea where we are. There are no signs back here in the woods. So here's some sort of old structure. So that's pretty cool. I always think of how cool it would be to know what these things were and what the lives were like for the people that used them in whatever capacity they used them, whether it was work or living or commerce, whatever it was. Pretty cool to see. There are labels for the difficulty of the trails on some of these trails anyway, not all of them. So this is rated moderate, but it doesn't tell me where we are or anything. But that was why I mentioned it's cool that it goes out, and you know, like if you continue, you're going to eventually get back to the paved trail. And then if you don't want to go back through the woods, you can just take the straight shot back on the Riverwalk next to the river. One of the life things we were dealing with was Leeloo being extremely sick last week. She had stopped eating and had no energy and was not herself, was moving very, very slowly, which obviously the energy and the moving slowly made even more sense with not eating, but it was beyond that. And so we tried to make her diet very exciting for her. Got her to eat some, so that was really encouraging, because we were concerned that that was like the end of a season, and that was so sad and devastating. Like most people that have pets know they're members of your family. It's definitely buggy here. Hopefully they're not mosquitoes that are gonna bite me. And so that's as much as you would mourn the loss of a family member, you would mourn the loss of a pet. So we were kind of preparing ourselves for that, but it made me think, like, not that I always am trying to live in the moment, and it's so hard to do, to not dwell on the past and not worry about the future. But it truly is what we need to do, because all you know you have is now. So we were making the most of the time we had with her, and giving her whatever food she wanted. So honestly, we're still giving her the foods of her choice. She is an old dog, but I think she had Lyme disease. That's how it seems. So she is recovering so well, though, and we're not having an issue with her eating what we're giving her. So that's really exciting. But it was a good reminder to really enjoy the season that you're in, because it's only going to be around for so long. Eventually it too will pass, and you can remind yourself of that when you're going through the hard seasons. It's not going to stay around forever. So I can do it. I can make it through. But for those good seasons, it's only going to last for so long, and so you really want to thoroughly enjoy as much of it as you can. We made our way out of the woods. Definitely a train going by. I love that they have some strategically placed benches and trash cans along the path. They're definitely been nobody through the woods to clear away any spider webs yet. Collected a lot of those as we went through. That's one benefit of being out here. Definitely not as many spider webs. So the humidity is high, feeling the sweat. I'm glad we got out earlier. I was debating about going this morning or this afternoon. I'm sure it's going to be worse this afternoon. So, I'd like you to think about some of the seasons that you've been through and how they've impacted your life. Maybe you're going through a really hard season right now. I feel you. Maybe a season of a lot of adjustment or new. Maybe you're in a season that you're loving. Enjoy every minute of it. That's been my philosophy with, I'd always said I would with raising kids. So with Caden, I have made sure I was fully present and enjoyed every minute. But it's true of wherever you are. Just embrace it. You're there for a reason. It's gonna make a difference in your life and those around you and those you haven't even met yet. So pretty awesome to think about it that way. So I'll see you next time on the trail with Heart.